Welcome back into Foxborough Rush. Are you ready for some football? We are, but we have to wait till tomorrow night. But Jade and I decided we haven't seen each other since the Patriots beat the Vikings last week. Jade, if you remember, I told you, I said I covered Sam Howell in D.C. I said he throws a beautiful ball, but he throws to both teams. I don't know if you remember that line or not, and sure enough.
I do.
When I saw him throw a pick, I thought of you because I said, I told her this man will turn that ball over. So Patriots win that game 20-12 last week, preseason game number 2. Drake Maye, I'm going to give you his numbers before I ask what you saw in this game from him. 4 of 7, 46 yards. He did have the touchdown drive there, but he left some throws on the board. I don't know. I haven't seen the Drake Maye I wanted to see in preseason. I would love one more start, but I also get this is a finale. Like, who cares? We have tape on Drake Maye. Let's just get to the season. You don't want to get him hurt. I get that. But I didn't love what I saw from Drake Maye in this preseason, Jade, specifically as it comes to that Viking game. What did you see?
What didn't you love?
I haven't seen enough. I think it's not so much what he's not doing. We know the turnover against Commanders was bad. I get it. But I think I want more. I think I want more of a sample size from him. Maybe one more game, to be honest. Like, I know the preseason has changed in terms of the duration, but I would love one more Drake Maye start. It's not necessarily anything he hasn't done. I just need to see more of it. Does that make sense? I think he needs the reps.
Yeah, I think part of it is I haven't been to any of the joint practices, but I feel like what I read from the joint practices don't quite match what I have seen watching the preseason games, if that
totally
makes sense.
Fair.
And so
I was there at one, and it's not what I saw. I can confirm that, Jade.
Yeah. So I'm sort of like, okay, how do we make sure that we get what is being seen at those joint practices onto the game field, right? And part of that is, time, repetition, all of those things, right? I mean, practice makes progress. Practice is never going to make perfect. So I think that's part of it. I do think that, we have to remember, obviously, that this is a second coordinator for him and Josh McDaniels. And that's going to take a little bit of time as well for them to find their cadence with one another. And he has a young line in front of them, all these different elements to it. But I would certainly like to have those two things match, right? Like, you want the way you practice to be indicative of the way you're going to play. And I'll be curious how they try to navigate that with Drake, because again, I don't feel like there's a match at this point in time, based on what I'm hearing and seeing.
No, I can confirm. You're absolutely right. He looked better in the joint practices than in the game. And it's not concerning per se, but it goes back to what I said. I need more game reps. That's why I would love to see just one more start in the preseason, although I understand why you're not. But it's some of the footwork, the fundamentals. I mean, the guy has a rocket launcher arm, Jade. I need a little more touch from Drake Maye. I think you mentioned the system. Josh McDaniels learning a second system here in just as many seasons, 2 seasons for Drake. So I get it, but I think reps will help. But we're watching in real time, and we're going to continue to watch the development of a young quarterback. He's still in his embryonic stage in terms of development in this league. Drake Maye talked about the importance of getting reps with game action. That's the key. Take a listen.
Yeah, it's always good to get out there with the guys, go through a real game like in the huddle, out of the huddle. So we've got delay of the game, so that stuff's good to be mad at myself for, and reminder to watch the clock get out of the huddle, get the guys back in the huddle. So it's always good to get real game reps where they can hit me and kind of real situations.
Why the delay game? Something happened there that
Yeah, I just got to get out of the huddle faster. I think it's with me. I think starts me getting those guys back in the huddle. It's different in practice. Just kind of getting back to the huddle when they start the play clock. Right after the play, the last play's down. So just a good reminder. I feel like I was watching it. For some reason, it was a second down, a weird play that my eyes weren't on it, I think. But I think it falls on me. It's good to have to bounce back from that because there may be a false start or holding, get back on track kind of type of deal. So it was good to feel that. But obviously, disappointed myself for letting that happen out here.
What do you see in your teammate Efton Chism? When you see him breaking tackles, one play book, 4 tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you see in this kid?
Yeah, he just keeps on showing up. I think that's the theme for him. Was throughout camp, throughout joint practices, throughout preseason games. He got in the end zone again tonight, and just keeps on showing up. Like I said, he's blocking the run game. He's knows what to do. He's staying late with veterans and asking me, hey, what do you think on this route? He's just he wants it, and I think that's the biggest thing he's showing. It's paying off for him.
Well, TreVeyon, what did you do? Did you do with the 11-yard run in that drive and then the touchdown?
Yeah, I think he's dynamic. I mean, shoot, it's cool knowing him. He's out there on kickoff for us, kickoff return. So I think from there, just try to find ways to get him open in space, and I think he's better than teams give him credit for running between the tackles, as you saw today. So just trying to find ways to give him the football, and I think on the third down, maybe could have gave it to him earlier or gave him a better ball.
Talked a lot about working with your line in the joint practice. Other opportunity today where you kind of got flushed a little bit, Maye cut inside on you, and you went around and made the pass to Mac Hollins. How much of that is your game? How important is that?
Yeah, that's just game. That's just game situation. It's hard to emulate that in practice because the defensive ends always think they got a sack, So it's good to get out here and know they actually have to bring me down, and it's good for us to work scramble drill because sometimes that we call something and we're expecting this coverage and they go to something else. So it's good for those guys to feel that and the receivers to work on scramble drill and stuff like that. It's hard to mimic that in practice. So it's great getting out here in a preseason game.
All right, Jade, look, you're going to have the final word on this. I mean, it sounds like you and I are in lockstep of let's just continue to be patient with this kid. But I was thinking about this, hearing him talk there. And it goes back to what you said about, he's learning a new system with Josh McDaniels now. All these young quarterbacks who have had success all have a quarterback whisperer, if you will. Jaden Daniels in D.C., we see Cliff Kingsbury with him, right? We'll see if Ben Johnson and Caleb can work in Chicago. Certainly it looked like it with their preseason game together, right? Sean Payton, we know.
Oh, look good.
It looked good. Sean Payton, we know, out in Denver with Bo Nix, right? So now it's just a question of Drake and Josh. I mean, is this combo going to work as good as a Nickelodeon show did? We need to see Drake and Josh be the same combo as these other guys that I'm talking about. We need Josh to be the quarterback whisperer as it comes to Drake Maye. I think he will. We just need to be patient with it, Jade, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Minnesota's going to go through the same thing with, Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy. And we've seen Kevin O'Connell, KOC has had a ton of success with quarterbacks around this league. Yeah. So has Josh McDaniels. We've talked about it here, right? I mean, obviously we all know what he and Brady shared, but we saw Mac Jones have a lot of success, and we saw other guys come in and run the system, under Josh over the years, like when Brady was hurt, right? So there's other guys who have done well under him. I think the biggest thing that we all have to remember, and it's very challenging in this league, and it's certainly challenging after the past couple of years here in New England, but quarterback is a developmental position. That's just the way it works in this league. So you've got to expect that there's going to be some growing pains, and you've got to expect that you got to tamp down and try to be patient. And that's not always easy. I'm not sitting here saying it is easy. But I do think that at least the right foundation is being put in place, for the progressions to take off and the trajectory to grow, in a positive way, trending upward. Right.
Yeah, you're so right. We also, what point you made that's so true is we do not wait for quarterbacks anymore. You should be developing this league, but if it's not working, if it's egregious, right? Drake Maye's not giving anything egregious to make you think, we got to give up on him. You have to let him develop. I mean, Josh Rosen is top of mind with Arizona. It was egregious. The Cardinals moved off in 5 seconds. Anthony Richardson now we're seeing in Indy. It was egregious. They're like, yeah, we're going to go to Daniel Jones and give up on this kid.
But to me, like, Anthony Richardson is a guy that they drafted who had hardly any experience in college. He played for a year. Like, you threw him in there and said, let's see what we got. And then, you know, there was some injury and this and the other thing. And now, obviously, you know, his agent's like, I don't know what the future is going to look like here with Indianapolis and AR. But he didn't have everything to fall back on. It was like the exact opposite of Brock Purdy in San Francisco, right? Who played 5 years at a starter in college and had a sense, like, grew into it and you know, was the last overall pick in the draft. And obviously, you know, got a chance in San Francisco and never let go of it, you know, and got paid as their starting quarterback of the future here. So you're talking about coming in from very, very different places. And I think that we have to remember that this is the second system that Drake Maye is dealing with. And we have to remember that patience is important in this league and give the kid a chance. Like, we have seen that he can play. The glimpses are there. You just got to let him learn some.
Amen. Now, look, in order for Drake Maye to have success, there's going to be rookies on this team that are going to have to make an impact. And we saw it against the Vikings. I mean, Efton Chism went off. Jade, he led all players, 6 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. It's going to be hard to keep him off the 53-man roster, no doubt about it. We're at a point where I don't think you can risk putting him on the practice squad without him getting poached. This tweet from Brett. I completely agree. What do you see when you watched Efton Chism? Because he is a playmaker, Jade.
Yeah, look, I mean, we're not watching him against the ones, and I think we all know that. It's important to point out. But that being said, he is a kid that he has shown that he's tough. He finds a way with the ball to get the ball, to move with the ball, you know, got banged up in that one and, you know, it looks like it's not going to be a long-term issue for him. But we also all know that Josh McDaniels loves a good slot receiver. So I do think that there, you know, is certainly a future for Efton Chism with the way he has started here in New England. He's going to have to grow. That's part of it. But look, Julian Edelman walked in on this team and he was a special teams player. Like, it wasn't until he was here for a couple years where all of a sudden he emerged, you know, and then obviously, you know, went on to become a Super Bowl MVP for the Patriots. So again, what I think we've seen from Efton Chism is he has had a tremendous start. I think he has a place on this team. He's not going to be, you know, your 1-2 in terms of your wide receiver, but do I think he belongs in the room at this point? Yeah, I think he has proven that he belongs there and he should get a shot.
Completely agree. By the way, Julian Edelman was a freaking college quarterback also. I mean, there's so many things. Exactly. Insane. Another rookie, TreVeyon Henderson. This kid has another touchdown as the Patriots defeat the Vikings 20-12. He talked about his impact. I mean, this kid, I already told you, Jade, it's over. Ramondre, Antonio Gibson, cooked. You are running back by committee. This kid is the future and the present. He's the alpha and the omega. Here's TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank God, you know, just for the opportunity. And, yeah, you know, I get a credit to the guys up front. You know, they handle business and, you know, they made my job easier. So I give the credit to the guys up front, the O-line, for taking care of the dirty work.
How do you feel going into the regular season, moving preseason, kind of, you know, coming to a close, where you are mentally, physically? How do you feel? Yeah,
I feel pretty good. You know, I've been learning a lot throughout this training camp. So, you know, the biggest thing, I just want to stay focused and continue to connect with my teammates and try to earn a role on this team. And so we'll see what God has in store.
What do you, when it comes to kick return, what's the most important thing? I always ask guys, what makes a good special teamer? You know, from your perspective, what makes a good kick returner?
Kick returner? I think really, so this new kickoff return thing is kind of new for me. And so I think the biggest thing is just being decisive, knowing what to look at. And when you see something, you got to hit it because those spaces, they close up quick. And so, you know, the biggest thing is just trying to be decisive back there.
What's the most important thing for you to focus on moving forward? Again, regular season looming, preseason coming to a close. What's the most important thing you want to get done?
I feel like everything, you know, every aspect of my game, you know, continue to try to stay consistent. You know, that's the biggest thing. And so, yeah.
Hey, Jade, I'm not going to lie. Power rankings for my favorite current Patriots. It's Drake Maye 1, Christian Gonzalez 2. No wiggle room there. But TreVeyon Henderson already has now broken into my top 3. I mean, this kid, not only do I love the player, every time he talks, Jade, I like him even more and more.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know, you're like Alpha and Omega. It's TreVeyon Henderson. I think he'd be like, no, that's not me. I mean, humble as they come, right? And he's just like, look, I got to get better at everything. I just want to go in. I want to keep working. You know, I think he's right. Like in, you know, kickoff return, you got to be decisive. Those holes close real fast. But this kid's a playmaker, and they're gonna find ways to put the ball in his hands. They're going to do it in a way, I hope, that he's able to stay healthy. And I think that's important to remember as well. You know, just in terms of, you do have, you know, a little tandem there in running backs that can chew up some good yards for you. And I think they'll do that. But I do think that good things happen when this kid touches the football. And we all know that when you have a playmaker like that, you do find ways to get the football and put it in his hands.